Hello everyone. In the previous lecture, we were discussing about the characteristics of successful entrepreneurs, where we had understood the first characteristic, that is creativity. Today we will try to understand innovation, dynamism, leadership, team building, achievement motivation, problem solving, and then goal orientation, risk taking and decision making ability, and commitment characteristics of successful entrepreneurs. So in creativity, we have seen the different stages like germination, preparation, incubation, illumination, and verification. Okay, this we have understood. Going further, we have innovation characteristic, where we see that entrepreneurs innovate, and innovation is the specific instrument of entrepreneurship. So every entrepreneur innovates one or other thing. It might be service or it might be a product. And then successful entrepreneurs try to create value and make a contribution irrespective of their individual motivation. Their individual motivation might be money or getting fame or status or achievement of a goal, but they somehow add value to the system. Then we have dynamism, where innovation together with dynamism constitutes a potential contribution. And then dynamism means it revises the targets of the enterprise upwards time and again. So here entrepreneur is dynamic in nature, he adjusts to the different situations. That is what the meaning. So dynamism along with innovation are the potential contributions. And then a dynamic entrepreneur is always a pragmatic one. Pragmatic means who takes decisions based on the logic or thorough understanding of the problem. Then we have leadership. So this is very important because every entrepreneur has to become a leader, because he will be leading a team for the successful achievement of his vision and goals. So leadership is the basic quality of entrepreneur, and this spirit keeps him faces forward in any field. That we already know in the leadership concept of our third module. And then particular entrepreneur can become a leader, and his quality of leadership is analyzed based on his personal relationships and handling a problem and generating resources. Then the fifth characteristic what we have is team building, and an entrepreneur should have an ability to build a team, and the team building skills consist of these following steps. That is, first one is wanting to feel better, second one is identify the problems and needs of the enterprise, then creating a vision, then setting goals for the group and reviewing the progress. So this is the whole lot of process we have in team building, because any entrepreneur, he cannot do all the work by himself. He has to divide the work and assign it to someone. How he can assign? By building his own team, and by there he distribute the work, and it contributes to wanting to feel better. He wants to feel better because he cannot do all the work. If he wants to do it, he will be in a pressurized environment, correct? So he wants to feel good, means that is the meaning. He wants to be better in managing the things by creating a team. Then identifying the problems and needs of the enterprise, and thereby he will get what are the different departments, and then he creates the vision for each and individual departments as well as for the enterprise, and then setting goals for the group. So goals are the nothing but the logical conclusions of vision, and then reviewing the progress. Once the team starts working, he has to review the progress. Then we have achievement motivation. Entrepreneurs are highly motivated and they are guided by their inner self, that we know. And in India, what we have seen is number of highly successful entrepreneurs who believed in slow and steady wins the race. That is the key to success, what we can say. Slow and steady wins the race. It is not overnight someone will become very popular, or his enterprise becomes a successful one. It takes a lot of hard work throughout years, correct? So that is what indicated here. And then we have problem solving as our 7th characteristic, where it is important that entrepreneur should solve the problems, or he should not avoid the problems. He has to take it as a challenge and he has to solve the problems. And the formal problem solving model has 6 steps. These are the 6 steps. They are relatively similar to decision making process, where you have to define the problem, then gather the information, and then identify various solutions, that is alternate solutions, evaluate them and select the best one, take action, then evaluate the action taken, that is feedback. If something is going not according to the taken action, then you have to correct it. So in that way the problem solving works. And the next characteristic what we have is goal orientation. In goal orientation, every human behavior is goal oriented. If we have a goal, accordingly we behave, or accordingly we proceed with the different steps to achieve that goal. That's why goal setting is a very important thing, and it has 3 steps. First one is defining the goal, and then defining specific goals, and then feedback about the goal achieved. That is, you might define one goal or several goals, but you should be tracking how much you have achieved, or in what stage you are there in achieving the particular goal. So that is about the goal orientation. Then risk taking and decision making ability. Here every entrepreneur, once he wants to become entrepreneur, he is taking risk, and in terms of uncertainty he has to make the decisions. That's why risk taking and decision making ability are very important for an entrepreneur. And experience and individual abilities are very important in decision making. This is very important, correct? If you have earlier experience in industries, it will help you. And the individual ability is also very, very important. Something can be taught in class or something can be learned by experience, but individual ability also contributes much higher for the entrepreneurial development. Then commitment. One of the stable qualities of entrepreneurs is commitment, or their willpower, and strong determination with sound thinking fortifies willpower. So if he has a good willpower, then he will be committed to his entrepreneurial goals and he can achieve them. That is what the meaning. Now these are the characteristics of entrepreneurship. Now moving on further with the next topic, which is classification of entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs can be classified in different ways. As you can see, entrepreneurs can be classified based on functional characteristics, based on the development angle, based on the types of entrepreneurial business, based on the 9 personality types, and then based on the schools of thought on entrepreneurship. Okay. Now based on the functional characteristics, we can have innovative entrepreneur, imitative entrepreneur, Fabian and drone entrepreneurs. Based on the developmental angle, we can have prime mover, or a manager, or a minor innovator, or satellite or local trading entrepreneurs. Then we have entrepreneurs based on the types of businesses. It might be the entrepreneur might be from the manufacturing, or in the wholesale business, or retailing business, or a service business. Then based on the 9 personality types, entrepreneurs can be an improver, or he might be an advisor, or the superstar, or the artist, the visionary, the analyst, the fireball, the hero, and the healer. These kinds of entrepreneurs we get based on the personality types. And then we have entrepreneurs based on the thought school. Thought school means the ideological entrepreneurship. Based on some ideology, someone becomes entrepreneur. Based on that, what we have is 6 different thought schools and the entrepreneurs related to these thought schools. First one is great person school, psychological characteristics school, classical school, management school, leadership school, and in Entrepreneurship School. So these are the different classifications what we have according to thought school of entrepreneurship. Next concept we have is myths of entrepreneurship. Here the first myth is the one which is not real. The first myth what we have is entrepreneurs are born, not made. This is not true, right? Because most of the entrepreneurs are made by their hard working, their creativity, their understanding of the problem, correct? That's why we cannot say that entrepreneurs are born, not made. And then entrepreneurs are academic and social misfits. This is also not a reality, because most of the entrepreneurs are social. They are present in social media. They will be working in different social groups. They will be helping out people in the society, correct? So they are not only academic, but they are social also. Then entrepreneurs fit an ideal profile. This is also not true, because entrepreneurs will also have their own limitations, their own shortcomings. They suppress those limitations and somehow become successful, correct? Then all you need is money to be an entrepreneur, and all you need is luck to be an entrepreneur. These two myths are very popular, but what we need to understand is, to become an entrepreneur, everything is important. Money, luck, and your talent, creativity, everything should sync. Then only you can become a successful entrepreneur. Now for money, you can approach different government agencies where you can get funds for entrepreneur, funds for becoming an entrepreneur, correct? So that's why these are very important myths one has to understand. Then having no boss is great fun. This is also not true, because you will be having a lot of responsibilities, correct? You have to build a team, you have to have different plans and decision making. All those aspects will be on your shoulders. So you cannot think that having no boss is a great fun. Then I can make a lot of money. Yes, definitely you can make money, but not lot of money, unless you become a highly successful entrepreneur. For that it might take years together, correct? So that is a myth. Then I will definitely become successful. This is also not true. There might be higher chances of you becoming a successful entrepreneur. You cannot surely tell that I will definitely become a successful entrepreneur. And then life will be much simpler if I work for myself. This is also myth, because as I have already told, there will be different responsibilities on you when you become entrepreneur, and you will have to work day and night sometimes. So it will not be simple as you think, correct? And in that way we need to understand different myths of entrepreneurship. Next concept we have is entrepreneurial development models. The models suggested for development of entrepreneurship fall in the following three categories. First one is psychological models, second one is sociological models, and the third one is integrated models. These models give an idea about how different things contribute for an entrepreneur's motivation, or how an entrepreneur becomes an entrepreneur, or what motivates him to become an entrepreneur. First one is psychological model. This was proposed by McClelland in 1961, and he has given some determinants of entrepreneurship. Initially in his model, he told that achievement motives which are related to child rearing practice are very important to motivate someone to become entrepreneur. That is, child rearing means in the development stage of child, or the way a parent brings up his child. Based on that, someone becomes entrepreneur. That psychological impact will be there on the child, or the achievement motivation is very important according to McClelland. But in his recent book, he has altered his proposition, and he now tells that the change in motivation is seen primarily as a result of ideological arousal of the latent need for achievement. So it is not by child rearing practices, it is by the self ideological development of a child or an adult, which gives an arousal of the latent need for achievements. So based on that, entrepreneurs are developed or entrepreneurs are emerged. And he also stresses on need of skills training for entrepreneurs. So this is the psychological model. The second model what we have is sociological model or sociological models, where it was developed by Frank W. Young. According to his theory, there will be relative subgroups in a society, and the relativeness of subgroup which has lower status is in a larger society will lead to entrepreneurial behavior if the group has better institutional resources than the others in the society at the same level, and thereby it will lead to entrepreneurship. So if some particular group which is having lower status is given with institutional resources, then entrepreneurial behavior can be observed, provided that the different social group which is at the same level might not be getting these kind of institutional resources. Then it happens according to Frank W. Young's sociological model. In integrated model, T.V. Rao has included following factors for the entrepreneurial disposition. The first two factors are related to psychology of human behavior, and then the second one is personal, social and material resources one can get for development for entrepreneurship, and then socio-political system to be perceived as suitable for establishment of his enterprise. Correct? So here everything is included: the sociological, the economic, finance, and then the psychological factors which are contributing for an entrepreneur's development. So that's all about the different models of entrepreneurial development. Then we have entrepreneurial development cycle. That is how an entrepreneur become a particular industrialist. He comes up with an idea, he sets up his enterprise, and he runs his enterprise. That is the basic idea. And you can see the different activities suggested by MP Akhori. The first one you can see is stimulatory activities, then supportive activities, and then we have sustaining activities, and this cycle continues. Here when it comes to stimulatory activities, it is the very first activity or very first set of activities you can say, and these activities ensure the emergence of entrepreneurs in the society, and they generate initial motivation and offer opportunity to acquire skill. These can be achieved by the following activities. It might be from entrepreneurial education, planning publicity of entrepreneurial opportunities, motivational training, help and guidance in selecting products, or recognition of entrepreneurs. One or more activities of this kind might become a stimulatory activity. Sometimes more than these activities, that is we have listed out 5 activities, more than these activities there might be another activity that might also stimulate the entrepreneurship. Okay. Then we have supportive activities. Now entrepreneurship ideas have been stimulated in minds of or the young minds of entrepreneurs. Once he has set an enterprise, he has to be supported. So the support activities comes into picture. These activities help a person to develop into an entrepreneur. They nurture and help entrepreneurship to grow. And what are these support activities? First one is registration of a unit, that is recognition by the government. Then arranging finance, guidance for selecting and obtaining machinery, providing common facilities, help marketing the product, grant tax relief. These are the support activities by different agencies, either it might be government or private agencies. It should be provided, then entrepreneur will be in a stage where he can confidently move further in his industry. Then we have sustaining activities. These are the activities those help in the continuous and efficient functioning of entrepreneurship. And the sustaining activities include modernization of infrastructure, encouraging diversification, supporting industry institute interactions, promoting quality, need-based common facilities centers. So we have to look this sustaining activities as once the enterprise is running, after some years he has to update himself and his enterprise. For that, some activities needs to be carried out, or some activities to somehow support the entrepreneur. These sustaining activities are also some kind of supportive activities only, because modernization of infrastructure, someone has to support, that is might be government agencies or banks has to provide loan, all those things. And then encouraging diversification means one product is there in the market now, it is going well, means if you want to sustain in the market, you have to have different kinds of products, then only you can sustain. If you run only one product, it might become obsolete at some time, correct? Then supporting industry institute interactions, this will help in getting more and more entrepreneurs into the industry, because institutes might not be following the industries, the developments in the industries. If interaction happens, then only the needs of industries will be known to the people or the young minds, and they can think innovatively for the particular problems the industry is facing. Then promoting quality. So to promote quality, continuously we have to develop or update yourself in terms of technology and in the human resources and other different aspects. That's all about the sustaining activities. Then we have problems faced by entrepreneurs. We can divide the problems faced by entrepreneurs into three types. One is internal problems, then we have external problems, and then we have specific management problems. Internal problems are the problems which are internal to the enterprise or the organization, where it can be subdivided into problems related to planning, problems related to implementation, and problems related to production. In planning, it might be technical feasibility or economic viability pose some problems, and then in implementation we may again get similar kind of problems, mostly technical feasibility and human resource, okay, while implementing the particular project. And then during production, the problems might be in terms of product management, labor management, marketing management, financial management, and administrative management. These are internal to the entrepreneur's organization. Then we have external problems for entrepreneurs. They might be infrastructural, like problems with the location, power, water, and communication at that particular region, okay. And then we have financial problems, which might be related to capital problem or long-term funds or recovery of the funds which you have invested in the particular organization. Then the problem might be with marketing, government taxation, raw materials, industrial and financial regulations, inspections by government agencies, then technological updations, government policy changes, corruption at different levels, and then competitive and volatile environment. These are the problems external to the organization. Next we have is specific management problems, which actually deals with the manager's ability. Who is manager? Manager is the entrepreneur himself, because he will be dealing with different aspects. For very first time, he might come across different kind of problems which are related to the management itself. The first one is management deficiency. He might be having his personal limitations, he might not overcome those limitations, and thereby the management deficiencies resulted. And then finance, if he has not acquired the adequate funds, it will be a financial problem for the manager or the entrepreneur. Then manufacturing and technical problems. Technical know-how should be very important while you manufacture particular product. And then production planning, as we discussed this in the internal problems also. Then selection of equipment and machinery, because he will be doing this first time, he will not be knowing the different organizations which are going to give you the machinery, the rating of those organizations, or the liability of or reliability of the machines, you will not be knowing. So everything he has to research, and it will pose a problem. Then human resource development, he has to recruit people. For that he should know what he wants and what is the knowledge or the skill set of the person who is going to be hired for the organization, and how he should be trained. These are the problems. Then preparation of project report. This is also very important aspect, because whenever you complete a project, there should be a manual with that indicating what all the aspects of a project. So it is also problem specific to management, because the entrepreneur is dealing with all these things for very first time. Moving on to the last topic of this module, that is capacity building for entrepreneurship. And what is capacity building? It is in what way in our country we can encourage entrepreneurs and get more number of entrepreneurs coming with innovative ideas and setting up their enterprises. So India has an extraordinary talent pool with virtually limitless potential for entrepreneurship, and India must, however, commit to develop successful business builders. So that is what I have said, right? To do this, India must focus on 4 areas. What are the 4 areas India should focus such that more number of entrepreneurs comes into industry, and then they develop their own products? That is, create the right environment for success, then ensure that entrepreneurs have access to the right skills, then ensure the entrepreneurs have access to smart capital, that is financial aspects, then enable networking and exchange of information and resources. So networking of different industries or different entrepreneurs, and exchange of information between the technical world. So if these areas are focused by the government and sufficient support is provided for entrepreneurs, India will be in a good position in capacity building for entrepreneurship. And from the different schemes which have been started by government of India, we can see that this is happening actually. Okay, let us see what is it. So as I have told, India is working towards it, and capacity building is happening in a very good way. For example, if you go through the website of Startup India, you can see around 125 different schemes for supporting entrepreneurs. It might be venture capital scheme, or supportive international patent protection scheme, or Stand Up India scheme, or high risk, high reward research scheme. There are as many as 125 different schemes are there for entrepreneurs. Okay, so definitely we can hope that India will become a entrepreneur hub. Okay, so that's all about the entrepreneurship development module. Now in the next module we will discuss about the family businesses in India, and then idea generation and business opportunities, project evaluation. Okay, thank you.